everyone. I am Ericka Champion Wise, elite independent consultant with Paparazzi Accessories, and today I have my friend Travis. He is a web designer and a web marketer. His agency is Effex Agency. He is the guy who does my website and answers all of my, hey Travis, can we do this on my website? Questions. I've had a lot of questions on YouTube and on the site itself asking who did it and how can they do it and did I DIY it? Absolutely no, I didn't DIY it. I have this great guy who did it for me, and I wanted him to have a space today to talk about his talents and to tell you a little bit about hiring a web designer if you're considering that. Now, let me give you a couple of notes. The first one is, this is the way I went. This is in no way to tell you that you must have a web designer in order to have a successful website. This is the route I chose, and I can tell you more about how I chose it at the end. And I have to give you a caution. We as paparazzi independent consultants must stay within compliance. You must follow the paparazzi policies and procedures, even when you have a web designer. It is not Travis's job to know my policies and procedures. It is mine, and to help guide him within those guidelines. So even if you choose to use a web designer, you must still stay compliant. You must use the right logos. You must keep the crown images on the photos, and you must present paparazzi in the best light, and all of the other guidelines that we have. So don't let that get away from you, even when you have someone doing the work for you. Don't forget that part. So, ready, Travis?
I'm ready.
Ready. So our first question is, why would you use a web designer versus doing it yourself? What is the biggest advantage, and what is the biggest risk of DIY?
Yeah, I mean, we're in 2019, right? So there's tons of little make your own website options. They're all over the place. But the biggest thing why you'd want to use a web designer is, one, it's how you build it. It can be built any way you want it to be built. It's not custom, and you own it, right? If I build you a website, or anybody who builds you a website, you can bring that to any platform. You can bring it to GoDaddy, you can bring it to Bluehost, you can bring it to all these different places because you own it, you control it. That's a lot of power that I don't want to give to a GoDaddy or to a Wix. The other thing is the websites that are built, most of them are what's called open source. So that means there's a whole bunch of plugins to make your stuff easier. Where these do-it-yourself, they don't have all those options and those bells and whistles, and they don't know how to advise you on what the laws are because they don't care. They just, you paid your $40 a month and you're good to go.
So having a designer, you mentioned laws.
Yeah.
Expand on that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of laws, especially when you're coming to selling stuff on a website. You need an SSL certificate. You need a certain type of hosting. You need to know what the taxes are. You need to know whether or not you are eligible for taxes. Some people selling online don't actually have to charge tax. And you need someone who can explain those, and you need someone to be able to share that risk with you. You know, the biggest thing is if you do something wrong, is that all coming on to the person. If you have a web designer, that also falls on the web designer. And that's a big thing if you really think about it. If you get hit with something harsh, it helps you have that way out, that excuse to help you get you out of that situation, to be honest.
And someone to share your freak out with.
Right. It allows you to, you know how to market your stuff, but someone from the outside saying this doesn't work or this doesn't make sense, especially from someone you know and trust as a web designer, it really helps you make a better product. Because you're like, I want to sell to this, this, and this. And I'm going to be the guy who goes, well, what if we try to sell to these guys? Have you tried this market? And we can try that market and see what it does, and you'll get a huge result. A good example, real quick, is I had a pest control company. That pest control company was trying to compete with Truly Nolan, Orca, all these big pest control companies. There's no way with the money that he had to be able to compete. So what we did is we targeted nuisance wildlife, getting rid of the raccoons, getting rid of all that stuff. He started getting tons of business that way, and then he got to turn that over to do his pest control stuff. So we figured out a new avenue to build his business, and then he was ranking as high without spending the same amount of money as everybody else.
Oh, I like that. So thinking outside of the box, you have a secondary person to suggest new things that you never thought of. I like that. So we know websites cost.
Yeah.
Talk about cost.
Yeah, so a website can cost you anywhere from $500 to $10,000, really. An average website for a small business runs between the $500 and $4,000 range. And the difference of those costs are based on what you put into it, what kind of plugins, what kind of features, what kind of shopping cart, how much maintenance is needed on that. And it's a big deal, and the price difference matters. And a lot of people are like, well, does it look better? No, odds are a $500 site can look just as good as a $5,000 site. It's what's in it and how it's made, and how easy. And the biggest feature is how easy it is for you to do it. Because if you're paying me every time you need an update, that's going to cost you. So you need to make it so it's user friendly to the consumer.
So where does the money go when it is the more expensive? What are the extra features that a person could buy? And why would you want them?
Yeah. So shopping cart, that's a big one. SEO, there's some SEO plugins that help you do SEO properly.
What is SEO?
It's search engine optimization. So that helps you be found in the search engines, get header tags and footer tags, things that you don't really think about that are very, very important. Forms that connect and integrate with like your MailChimp or your Constant Contact. Pictures and slideshows, all those things have associated costs with them to develop. And it's the development of it is to make it, not only make it look pretty, but again, making it so you, the consumer, can then update it on an easier stuff. As I do your website, you add all the products yourself because we made it user friendly. That's what I did instead of giving just the basic, because the basic of that is just a spreadsheet. You throw it into Excel with images and throw it in there. You don't want to do that. No shit, you have to.
No, I don't want to do that at all. I don't want to do that. No. And so user friendly.
Yeah.
That's a big one because we're very busy. We're very busy, and uploading images to a website doesn't directly make me money. It does make me money in a different way. So talk about some of the ways that you strive to create kind of the house of the website and then make it user friendly so that a layperson, me, who doesn't know code, doesn't want to know code, can make this work. Because a lot of people, I think, are afraid, oh crap, I can't do anything because I need this really smart person to fix this for me.
Right. And that's what we do is we change a lot of the terminology. A lot of it's in code terminology. So they'll say alt tags where we want those to be consumer tags. And we change some of the terminology. So that's the first thing you do. But changing terminology in a website is a little bit more difficult than changing it on a Word document because words have meaning. So if I change it here, it changes it everywhere. So you've got to play with all that. The other thing is making it so it's just as easy as doing a Word document. That's what I strive towards. If you can understand Word, you can understand your website. So if you can update a Word document, put in a price, you're good to go. So that's normally my guideline. Is it as easy as a Word document? Yes or no? Then we go with it.
And you're always available if you get stuck or if it looks weird. Travis, this looks really weird. What's happening here? And it's usually just a little bitty thing that just you fix and you're done.
Yeah, well, even more so, what's great about it is, as you said, your time is valuable. So in theory, it'd be good if you can get to the point where you're like, I don't have time to do that. I just want to pay someone to do that. If that person is on the ground level and knows how you do things because you guys both came together and figured out how it's supposed to work, that's going to make that transition a lot easier. And that's the goal, right? In my business, not everyone does this. I don't normally do ongoing contracts. I have a 1 yearly contract, but I don't charge you per month. It's as you need it because I want to grow with you, not make you pay a whole bunch of money to me as you're trying to figure out your business. I do the opposite. Let's grow, and then you pay me.
Pay as needed, or as you want more, or as
Correct.
You need more.
Right, exactly.
That's a good way to do that.
Right, I think so.
I like that one. I didn't know that. I'm learning. So are there other costs that come with websites? Because we hear these terms like domain names and host. What does all that mean? And do we need them? Do we have to pay for them?
Yeah. All right. So let me explain domain name and hosting because those are the big ones that people don't understand. So imagine a trailer park, okay? So your hosting is your trailer. That can go anywhere it needs to go to any trailer park. That's your website. So that's how the website works. However, the website needs an address, and that address doesn't move, right? If you switch to a different trailer park, that's a different address. So that's your domain name. So that's your www.erickachampionwise.com. Or whatever, or for me, it's effexagency.com. So that has to stay. So that's your domain name. Those run anywhere from $1 to $30 when you start out, and then it normally ranges between $20 and $50 a year to keep that. If you're paying $50, contact me so we can get you to $20. Because it doesn't matter. Hosting is where the website is. That's the big chunk. So that's got to stick. That's going to be a big thing. That's where the website's hosting. That normally runs you anywhere between $150 to $500. It depends on what you're doing, how much maintenance, how much the other person's taking care of it, is basically how that increases or decreases. The other thing, since you guys are paparazzi and you guys probably want to sell, you need an SSL certificate. What that is that secures your website to make sales. That encrypts it. So if someone puts their credit card in, it encrypts the stuff. It gives you a level of protection and gives the person a level of protection to make sure they don't get hacked or they use their credit card information. The bigger part of that is that little lock. We train people, elderly people, to look for that lock and make sure the site's secure. And Norton and all those viruses will pop up on your website and say it's not secure. You don't need it to run your shopping cart, but if you don't have it, you're probably not going to get past someone's virus protection.
Okay. So
sorry,
protection. That's a lot. That's a lot there.
Yeah. There's also little things like themes and plugins and things like that may have a small cost to them, but those are minimal, $20 here, $30 here. And most of the time they're one-time costs, but sometimes they're ongoing. And
those prices are set by the creator of those things. So that's not something you set.
Yeah, they're not something. A lot of times if you get a good designer, as you and I were talking about some feature today, I was like, here's how much the plugin costs. That's all we need to do. It's not normally, because a lot of times they're plug and play, sometimes they're not. And you just got to pay that to them. And sometimes they have a licensing fee, sometimes they don't. And so the prices that you set your hourly rates or what have you, and your hosting fees. Correct. As I understand. And then the rest of them are set external to you, and we just have to pay them. Correct. Yeah. So my time plus whatever the thing is. Okay. And that's a fair deal. And what's great about having a web designer is they're going to look for free options too. Sometimes you think something costs, and there could be a free option that we can do. And you're in the market. You know what is there, and you even have told me before, hang on, wait, this update is coming. Let's see what this update looks like before you put in all this back work, and then we have to change it all. And a web designer knows that. Exactly. And exactly. That's power. The bigger thing for web designers that I didn't mention before that's super, super, super important, you can't just steal images from Google. A lot of people think you can. So if you make your own website and you steal images from Google, you could get hit by thousands and thousands of dollars. Even me as a web designer who's been doing this for 10 years, I've been hit twice of thinking things that were free where I've had to pay thousands of dollars, and I have to pay it. They will tax your credit, they'll do all that stuff. But you've got to be super careful, and it's really good to have that outside source that, hey, you put it on there, not me. And just knowing where to grab those images. That's a huge risk that you're running if you do it yourself. Oh, yeah. Copyright is a big deal. Big deal. They don't play. And there's companies out there that are out there to try to scam you. So they make it look like it's free, and it's only free if you do certain other things. So it's not just grabbing the image, it's you have to give them a credit. It has to be on a certain page, it has to be in a certain format. And if you don't know that, you could get in serious trouble and a big fine. We don't want that. No. We don't want that at all. And so that's one of the advantages of having a good designer. Yeah. Now, how would one go about finding that good designer who will be their sounding board and their protection and their smart person in the corner, because we don't know how to do this and we don't want to learn how to do this? Right. How would you find a good one? Normally, my word of advice when you're trying to get someone who talks about it and gets excited about what you're trying to do and doesn't bring up price until late in the conversation. The sooner they bring up price, the sooner you know you can't trust them. That tends to be my thing. Because they're not caring about you. They're caring about how much am I going to get out of this transaction? You know, sit with them, get some information, pick their brain, get some free information. I met with Ericka tons of times before we decided to do a website, where I just shared information and knowledge, and I do that with everybody. And there's lots of other designers, not just me, who will do that with you. Share with them, talk about your ideas, and that's how you kind of weigh through it and figure out who's a good fit for you. And there's different fits for everybody. There's some people who want, I just want to pay you, I want you to do everything, and I want it at a low price. There's people who will do that for you. There's people who custom make everything, where they don't use open source like I do, who will custom make it to make sure it's perfect and built for you. Find one that works with you and that can fit your style and your budget.
And you can have a true and hard conversation with if you need to.
Right.
Oh, there was another question that just came to mind. Oh, timelines. Talk to me about the timeline approximate that you have to build. What can a person expect?
Yeah, for me, I give 30 days, but it's really based on the client. And meaning you have to do some pre-work, and I definitely recommend it. If you're looking for a web designer, do your pre-work. Here's the pages, and here's what I want the pages to say. Because some web designers, if you don't have that stuff, you'll just stay in limbo. Me, I learned a long time ago that a lot of clients are too busy doing their job to write that stuff. So I write a rough draft, let them tweak it after that, and we're good to go. But most designers do the opposite. They want it in their words. They want it written out in that way. But a web designer needs to go in after, right? So I need to tweak things to make it say those funky things when you're reading it. We are the leading developer in Palm Bay, featured right here on the Space Coast in Brevard County. All those things are search terms. They sound weird. They're really not for you or people. They're for the search engines. So that's why they're written that way. But you've got to get those things together beforehand. But it normally takes about 30 days for any website. For a shopping cart, it could take up to 45, but normally within 30 days you can have something. But a lot of times they'll give you something early, like they'll give you a website that doesn't have a shopping cart, they'll add that later, and they'll build as they go.
And so my last question.
Yeah.
Paparazzi gives us a free website. They host, they maintain, they upload our daily inventory drops. I've chosen to create an outside website with my own URL and everything. And I had my reasons for it. But why would someone choose to have his or her own site external to the Paparazzi site?
Well, let me do two things. So let's play in you keep your Paparazzi website. If you're gonna keep that, the one thing I recommend is buy a domain. Like I said, they run between $1 to $20. The reason why is that means it's always associated to you. Let's say you decide to get out of Paparazzi for whatever reason and go into real estate. That website will still lead to you, and you can forward it to that Paparazzi, and that helps it guide you. It also helps you as well if you want to make a certain product be featured. You can do that because the websites that they give you, they tend to be a little complex. You could put them to that page, and you can send the URL to just that page, and that may help you drive traffic to utilize what you have. Now, that makes sense? We good there, or do you have another question?
So a domain name is a web name that you choose, your URL that you choose, versus our paparazziaccessories.com/number. You can pick something and just have it shoot over to your Paparazzi page automatically.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. So that's part one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or any page on there, which is the bigger key feature. So if you want them to go just to a page, maybe it could be the sign up or recruit. You can send it just to that page, and that makes it a lot easier because people aren't really good at clicking, are good at clicking links, but they're not good at remembering or typing. You give them a business card, they're going to mess up 117944/Ericka/ whatever.
Yeah. Right, but if it's a short name or a short, cute thing that they can remember, they'll just go right to it.
And you own it for $20, and you own it. That's valuable to me.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend doing that. Now, why should you build one your own? That's a tough question, right? There's a big cost effective. And I really recommend people who want to get to that next level. They hit a plateau and they're doing their videos and they need to get to that next level. I don't recommend it for someone who's just starting out. I really think you should learn the platform and figure out how to sell it. But once you've got to a point where you need to get stuff, this helps you get rid of overstock, which is a huge value. That was one of the big guys that you and I found when we talked, is we have all this old stuff that people want, But I don't have time to do that on my shows because I have to sell all this new product that just came in. I just opened up my UPS box. I got to get rid of all this.
Yeah.
2, your website is always open.
Mm-hmm.
Always open. You don't have to, if you're not on your website doing stuff, you're always open. And it also allows people to embrace you and figure out who you are and really get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
It also builds a level of trust. There is some people who aren't going to buy things off of a Facebook. This Facebook thing is working really well for paparazzi, but there's some people who are going to be like, really sketch to PayPal you $5. I don't understand that. This allows them to be able to do that. And if your website, if it's done right, you can even send them invoices from your website. You can do all sorts of things to make it interactive, and it helps give that user-friendly aspect. It also helps when you're doing your videos, when you're doing whatever you're doing, you can just post your website, your link, your shopping cart. Now, I recommend that for you, Ericka. Just midway through the day, just share your website. Hey, I added some new stuff to your website. That's you cutting down your time of doing these videos and getting people to look and interact. And when they're on your website, you can tell them about other things, about other promotions, about other products, about other things that would sound weird when you're in your selling mode.
So if someone wanted to work with you or talk to you about and get to know you and interview you, as it were, what would they do? How would they go about it?
So you would go to effexagency.com. So that's EFFEX agency.com.
And we'll put the link in the description.
Yeah. Email me at travis@effexagency.com. So same thing. You can also find me on Facebook. Just message me on Facebook. That doesn't bother me. I'm really into comic books, and I have a baby. So if you follow me on Facebook, you'll see a lot of comics and baby stuff.
He's cute.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. I'm also a Christian, so you'll see lots of love. I love a lot of people and share people and embrace people. But yeah, I'll talk to anybody. And if you just need advice before you do something, get some advice. Even if you decide, hey, I want to do your do-it-yourself option. It's never a bad idea to go, hey, can I pay you a little bit to just look at it and give me some advice to make it better? Because that's going to help you tremendously. I have a client that uses Shopify. And you're like, why would he use Shopify? Well, Shopify connects him to Etsy. Mm-hmm. So Etsy allowed him to do a whole bunch of things. He makes veteran boxes, coin boxes. I could make him a shopping cart, but it's not going to connect him to Etsy directly. It's going to slow down his sales process. He was making tons from Etsy. Mm-hmm. So that is a better fit for him. But that doesn't mean I don't help him with his website. We meet once every few months. We talk about it. We try to make the best out of the system that he has, because he found a niche that worked with Etsy, and to lose that niche would have cost him his business. Right. So there's things that you can do, and it's finding that niche that works for you, because everybody's different. Everybody has a different way of selling things. Find your strength, and let's work on that.
Awesome. And then we are going to do another video about advertising.
Yeah.
Everybody look for that one to come. Did we forget to talk about anything that's very important that you feel people need to hear?
It's the only thing I want to say is it's not as complicated as it sounds. I know this sounds really overwhelming. It's not as complicated as it sounds. Just know your level. If a website, any website, I don't care if you paid $10,000 or $500, you get what you put into it. So if you get a website, you put it online, you're like, why did I make X amount of dollars? Well, you need to do stuff. You need to work that website. It is a product that you have to sell. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it.
I love it. Thank you for taking this time today. Appreciate you. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.